All right, welcome back. We have a big old box too. It's still going. Reminds me of when the ship drives by on Star Wars. That's a big one. Anyone know that logo? Blade HQ. I got a lot of my knives from Blade HQ over the last year. Kind of fun actually in my pocket. I've really been enjoying carrying it today. Is this guy. I've been carrying it, but not using it. So that's kind of funny. But man, this thing is so glossy smooth. It actually makes the Demco pocket clip work. Just goes right in over the pocket. So I've been enjoying having this in my pocket a lot of times in my pants, not even noticing it's there. But anyways, I'm not actually going to use it to open this box. I'm going to bring out my workhorse. Which is sitting here, and we will get into it, but just thought I'd share that. Sometimes I'm intuitive about like what knives, I don't know if it's the right term, but like I just pick a knife sometimes, and that one ended up going into the pocket today, which is fun. That's not something I would not normally carry $1,000 knife, to be honest. So we have a big haul today from Blade HQ. There were a bunch of different knives that caught my eyes that I thought would be interesting to share. Anything from very budget low-end knives to very exciting new releases to just something from Kershaw, because I hadn't actually done a review on a Kershaw. A budget QSP, the most budget, I think, QSP that I could kind of find for the little Blade HQ. Give them a little representation here. A Civivi worked its way in here. So button lock Elementum to compete with this CJRB, that's the Pyrite, which I'm really excited to check out. I think the Kershaw I got because one of these is an automatic, and I can't remember which one it is. That one? I think it's that one, and that one's just something that caught my eye stylistically. And then I've said it before, I'll say it again, the Bug Out 535 2002 with the 20V and the G10 handle, to me is the Bug Out that always should have been. And I saw Blade HQ got them back in stock. This is a Blade HQ exclusive, and I had to get one. I have one from like 2021, and they were out of stock of I'm sure they had them in stock since then at some point, but the satin ones were out of stock and people were trying to jack up the prices on them. So I saw this back in and I grabbed one of those. It's interesting, the date on that's May of 22. So that's been somewhere, because this is November right now. So it's kind of surprising. I'm not sure how Benchmade supply chain works, but maybe differently than some of the other manufacturers I've seen, where I've gotten knives with manufacturing dates within like 10 to 14 days of the date I'm opening it. So I think that's everything that's in here. Just double check, looks good. So let's get into it. I think I'm gonna go here to the Highball first, and then we'll work our way to the this duo. You know what, this is where we're going to start, because I just did a bunch of QSPs, so it's really fresh in my mind. The one I ended up leaving on the table is the Blue Denim Penguin. It's a D2 steel. It is kind of the all-arounder, I felt, of the group of knives I tested, and it's a really impressive deployment. Really cool knife. So this would be the Parrot in G10 would be like, I think they were selling this for at Blade HQ for $25. And they always do this nice thing. You find out a little bit about your knife. In this case, copper washer, a little bit about the size and what they've done to make the knife how it is. So I always like what QSP does there. And this was just literally, I'm sure maybe you've seen them for even less expensive at some point along the way, maybe $19.99 or something, but $24.99 for a QSP Parrot. It's a very shiny blade. I'll say that. That's one thing I don't love about this this particular one. I don't remember if the other one was like that. I think it was. So I got the blue denim micarta one for like $28.99 from DLT, I think. And then this one was $24.99 from Blade HQ. But I mean, talk about either a knife you put in your toolbox, or I mean, if you're just looking for a budget knife you can carry, perfectly centered as per, you know, classic QSP. They just do a very high QA. They're a very high QA. It's not as drop sheddy as the micarta one that I just unboxed in the other video where I did 4 QSPs. It's a little tighter on the, but you know, there are always a little variance there. But that one, my finger hit the thumb stud when it deployed. But yeah, it's so yeah, it's not quite as drop sheddy and stuff. So maybe this one ends up being like a giveaway or something like that. But you know, just to give a quick look at it, for $24.99, you can basically get an EDC. For someone that's not a knife nerd, this is, you know, a D2 blade steel knife on a crazy budget. So, you know, it's, if you're just walking it out like that, very smooth, you know, that's a lot of knife for the money. Cheapo pocket clip, but it's actually functionally very good. Yeah, so anyways, we're not gonna spend much time on that one today. I can't say I'm as impressed with that as I was with some of the other knives from QSP, but it is what it is. So let's keep moving here. We got the Kershaw. This is the Highball. Let's go ahead and get it out of the box here and just see what we got. Hang on one second. Let me get this over here so I can try to avoid damaging it as much as possible. And this one caught my eye because of, I think it was a mix of the price and the fit and finish that I saw when I was reviewing it, when I was looking at it on the website. And case in point, let me move some of this stuff out of here so it's a little less crazy. And we'll bring some of it back when it's appropriate time. So we get the bug out of here in the QSP. All right. And yeah, I mean, I think this was, I'll double check, but let me just pull it up real quick. I think it was like 30 bucks. Maybe it was on sale for 30 bucks or something, but let's take a look. So what kind of caught my eye was the fit and finish for the price. Just looked shocking to me. You know, Kershaw's a good knife maker. This is a D2 blade steel, and it just felt a little bit like the Microtech Annex for a budget. And it's much smaller. Like, I'll maybe even pull out the Microtech Annex to compare it for you. Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. And you got a frame lock, which I'm not the biggest fan of the frame lock, but wow, that's a pretty blade there. Look at that. And I'm just pulling up the order right now. This was $26.99. $26.99 for this knife. I mean, that is, let me give you another close-up here so you can see why I'm so impressed. This is a nice knife for $26.99. MSRP $75.95. I don't know if they're just blowing them out right now, but that is impressive. It's not quite drop shut, but oops. Wow. I mean, holy smokes. You know, you could spend 300 bucks on a knife that feels just like this. Damn. That is really good. Look at that. That is a pretty finish. I love when they do a satin with the lines in it like that. I think that's like one of my favorite finishes, especially when the whole knife isn't like that. You've got some other finish up here, like a tumbled, or in this case, it looks like maybe a bead blasted, or I don't know what that finish is exactly. A coated, you know, maybe a powder coated or something finish. It's got a really nice grind on it too. Is that a flat or a hollow? Wow, this thing is sweet. This is way better than I expected. I just saw it and I was like, I almost didn't do it. I threw it in. I'm like, is this real? $75.95 for $26.99? This thing's gonna get its own video. I'm gonna put this aside right now because this is shocking. Holy smokes, that is a sweetie. I mean, literally, I'm not lying to you. It's a whole different size class from the Microtech Annex, but what the hell? I'm gonna pull out the Annex right now and just show you why I see them being so similar. It's definitely a different size class, but the concept's very similar. Obviously, you're not getting the carbon fiber inlay. And what is this? Let me see if it tells us a little bit about it here or anything. Don't know how much info they put about the knife in here, so I might have to just pull off. That's actually a pretty good little booklet there. But let's see if it talks about the materials at all. No, I think this is kind of generic, just like I thought it might be. So let me just pull it up on the website real quick, because this is really, so it says blade steel D2. It is a blade thickness of 12/100ths, blade width, blade length of 2.75 inches, overall length 6.75 inches. So it is very much in this kind of, you know, bug out size range, like between, like just bigger than the Mini. Maybe a really good comparable size would be a Wee Banter on length. That's even shorter. You know what it reminds me a lot of though is it feels like a really good competitor to this knife. Like you're spending $300 on that knife. That's the competitor right there for me. You know, you can compare it to the QSP Penguin. Let's get rid of this bug out here. Or even the Parrot that we just took out. I mean, shocking, like the price is the same as that Parrot. I can't even tell you what a different like knife quality that is. This is the deal of the day or the month or something. Blade HQ, nice. And if you're gonna have a frame lock, I'm a fan of this sort of channel-based deployment. Now what's interesting is it's not something I can pull out with my thumb, but it's really obviously not supposed to be. You know, that channel deployment's all about the reverse flick or the Spidey flick, and it works perfectly. That is something else. This is gonna get its own review. I gotta put this away because it's gonna take over this entire video. But I think this is the, you know, the right comparable here. It'd be like the Tactile. That's a very similar knife in terms of size, weight, and everything. This thing's getting a video, which I don't do for a lot of the less expensive knives like that. I'll usually unbox them in bulk and move on in life, maybe give them away or, wow. That's amazing. That's a really good deal. I'm gonna make sure these guys get recognized for that one. That's a solid option. It's definitely small. Like a lot of people won't like this from a size perspective. It's got a little choke up point there. It's not super functional. You're kind of getting right into it. You got a pretty minimal choil, but you got a nice little draw cut. It's a clip point blade. That is a slice. I mean, the grind on it looks really nice too. Really nice. Let me see if I have any paper left over here. Boom. $26.99. Wow. I think it's the best deal I've gotten on a knife new. Super cool. Kershaw, good job. All right, I gotta get it out of here. We're 15 minutes in and I can't stop talking about it. I'm gonna leave it up there in the corner. It deserves its little spot in the corner here as a reminder. Put it right here with Blade HQ. It's kind of got the color thing going on anyways. It's funny. All right, what else do we have here? Remington. So this one caught my eye as, I think it's an assisted knife. I think that's why I grabbed this one. Okay. Oh, by the way, I got so carried away. I didn't even get to, let me finish reading off the info on this in case this is the only time you look at it. So D2 clip point flat grind. So it isn't a, I thought it might be a hollow grind based on the look, but it's a flat grind as it felt. Satin finish. I gave the lengths on it. Stainless steel handle material. 2.9 ounces it says, and tip up carry. And it looks like it's not ambi. Is that ambi? I can't tell if it's ambidextrous, but I don't think so. I don't think it's ambidextrous. Made in China, of course. That's the only way you're going to pull off. Even at the $75 price point, that's a nice knife. There's like one review on here. I don't know how that knife has gotten where it is without being highly, I mean, if you put the right blade steel on that with 20 CV or something, that's to me like a nice $200 knife. Anyway, where is my daily driver here? Let's get this ridiculous packaging open. I hate this kind of packaging. So anyways, I will back up and get the info on this guy. All right, so this one is the Remington Sportsman Model 830 assisted. It is a G10 handle. Boom. Oh, I remember where I grabbed this. And it caught my eye because it's marked down from $38 right now. I got it for $11.99. $11.99. I don't buy knives that are $11.99 anymore, but I was just like, okay, an assisted knife, 440 blade steel. Yeah, it's obviously super cheapo. How impressive is that, by the way? That thing's been doing that since the day I got it. And I think it's not going to stop anytime soon. It's so good at opening these types of packages. Frame lock. No, it says frame lock, but it looks like it's a liner lock, so that's interesting. Thumb stud, spring assisted. 3.96 ounces, so definitely outside of my normal. You know, I'll do that for a really nice knife maybe, but you know, an average carry knife for me, I'm not going to do that on. It's actually really easy to close. So that's cool. I know my lighting kind of sucks, so when it comes to black knives, it's really hard to see in my situation here. Let me get that cleaned up there for you. So pretty plain Jane. I don't, what the, that is weird. That's super weird. Is that, yeah, this came missing a screw. Look at that. Just straight up missing a screw. I mean, I imagine there's another screw here. I don't know if that's interchangeable. It looks like it's not, like it's a maybe a tip up only or a tip down only carry. But anyways, $11.99. I guess you don't get all the screws that come with the knife for $11.99. That's really funny. I don't know I've ever seen that before. Anyways, this is assisted. So let's see if I can avoid doing what I basically just did there. and I hit my cable when I did it there. I'm definitely getting the $11.99 vibe now. Definitely having trouble deploying an assisted knife, which is not a good sign. So what I'm gonna do is I guess what I should do is work it in a little bit. It's just coming right out of the box here. All right, and then what I do when I'm trying to like figure out how a knife sort of operates is I'll just do something like this. Yeah, so this is so far not recommendable. Very much an $11.99 knife. Get what you pay for, I guess, in this case. Not in that case. In that case, you get more than you pay for, but so far Remington failed on this one, unfortunately. I don't know if it's just strong detent. Maybe we can do a quick remediation here and see if that's what's going on. Okay, I think it's I think it just got over tightened or something. So let me back it off a little and see if we can actually make this knife work. It's funny now, this is rotating because the screw's missing. It's kind of an oddly, like, you could take the clip off if you just wanted to let it sit in your pocket. It's kind of like ambidextrous, actually, the way it sits here. So that's kind of funny, aside from the fact that it doesn't work. All right. There you go. You have to loosen it to a point. And it's still got lockup. So still a good lockup at this point. So there you go. Came non-operational from the factory in this case. But that's kind of what I was expecting, was a shitty knife that maybe would be kind of fun if it was assisted. It's a weird assisted, like compared to something like the Boker Mini, the Kalashnikov Mini here. It's kind of a weird assist. Like this one's very concise. That one is, first of all, the thumb studs are shit. Like it's really hard to get your finger in here to actually do it without, you're pushing down so hard. You want to go into the blade path, which is not good. So yeah, not a recommendable knife in multiple different ways. Now, what's good about it? I think it's a hollow grind. Yeah, I'm looking at the website now. It is a hollow grind, so that's really cool. I mean, $11.99, you're getting a hollow grind. The blade looks nice, you know, aside from the fact that they got their big logo written on it like they do on all their cheap knives. And I've owned my share of cheap Remington knives over the years. During my phase 2 of my collecting, I bought a lot of big 5 knives, and Remington was definitely one of those brands. China. What else is good about it? It's a pretty crappy edge, but it feels like it's actually sharp. So it's like rough but sharp. Some more paper here. Give it a quick test. Yeah, it's a really not good edge. You know, let's show a comparison back on this knife that came in very impressive, right? Much slicier. So that's interesting because it's a nice hollow grind actually. That's impressive. That's probably the most impressive part of the knife. I mean, the assisted part's kind of good, I'll admit. Like, it's really easy to close. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I gotta think about whether it's worth the effort on an $11 knife to get the screw. It's starting to loosen up. Obviously I couldn't even open it before. That was it. Barely any. There's like a tinge of blade play there, but that's a funny one. I'd really like to be able to reverse flick it, but I can't. So, well, that is what it is. I'll get what you pay for on that one. $11.99. Let's get our Boker buddy out of here. Get this paper out of here. And let's get down to the last part of this unboxing. which is the Battle of the Button Locks. And this is going to be a whole separate video, but I'll just do a quick unboxing of these and then I'll probably bake them off in a different video. So Civivi Elementum is obviously one of their flagship knives. This particular one is the Olive Micarta. Blade HQ is running a sale on them this week, so I decided to snag one. Go ahead and get this guy opened up. And the price ended up being the same as the CJRB dollar for dollar. So I was like, I've been really wanting to grab this Pyrite. Everyone's ranting and raving about it being an amazing $50 knife. Button lock is obviously the craze this year, and I have not, I don't know if I own a button lock aside from this knife. This might be my only, I guess I do have maybe like one or two others now I'm thinking about it, but not like these kind of new, and that's obviously like a, you know, more or less a switchblade. But not this sort of new era button lock fidgety style. So I like, okay, let's break down and see how they do. So, you know, right out of the box, the first thing I notice is this is longer than the standard Elementum, which is cool. The second thing I notice is there is no thumb stud or flipper. So you're totally limited to like gravity knife style opening, which is super weird and interesting. I don't know what Civivi is thinking on this. Honestly, I would at least have put a thumb stud on this or something. And it's not, the button's kind of hard to push. So that's my initial impression on this, is not great, honestly. So that's, I'll keep that one pretty short. The one thing I'll do is I'll pull out an Elementum for you, like a standard Elementum liner lock, just to show the size difference. And I was actually thinking this was going to be the knife that kind of corrected some of the things. This is definitely better in hand size-wise than the standard, you know, one, because just you can see the, but the deployment on this for me is, I'm actually liking the original flipper deployment more. So, you know, it's more Elementum essentially, but the Elementum flipper is one of the better flippers, you know, I think out there. And that is just a very, I mean, you know, this is coming from a guy who spends a lot of time with the shark lock. I'm pretty damn good at it. I don't know if it's just because I'm grabbing a different thing, but this is not, I guess, that different in a lot of ways from using a bug out and pulling the axis lock to flip it in and out, but I'm not catching it as accurately as I do with those other ones, and I don't know why exactly. You can see I'm generally failing on deployments pretty consistently. It does do what it's supposed to do though. Like when you have that button down, it is, so maybe I just need to, okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. So what you do is you press it, let it out, and when it hits, you know, like maybe midpoint, you let go of the button, and then it kind of, yeah, catches itself. So you just hit the button like as you deploy it. So this is like press. Okay, I get it. But I don't like the idea of taking my thumb off, so maybe I'll just slide it down or something. Yeah, this is not an intuitive deployment to me. That's also a hollow grind. A lot of sweet hollow grinds going out these days. Is this? I think this is a flat grind. Nice hollow grind on that. That's pretty sweet. I'll give them that. And like they have nice feeling micarta, but I don't like how the micarta doesn't kind of like match up. They kind of expose the steel liner under it. Anyways, we're 29 minutes in, so let's get this. This is what this most of this order was all about. This I started about just going, I'm gonna buy that, and then noticed a couple other things going on their website. This being one of them, this being another one, and then the noticing that they had that bug out back in stock. But this is what I came for. I wanted to see what all the hype was about on the Pyrite. So sorry that you had to wait 29 minutes in for that. But let's see. First and foremost, this is a pretty nice packaging, kind of like the Civivi. All right, wow, that finish is nice. You know, it's so weird that I get this today when I got this knife yesterday, because this is the second knife I felt that feels like glass. So this stainless is very nice. That button lock takes half as much effort as the Civivi one, and it's twice as smooth. Let's see if the rest of it is as good. That was sweet. This one looks like a flat grind, a really nice tumbled finish, I think. I should go look this one up while I'm reviewing it here. But the thumb deployment was really nice. Yeah, this button is, I mean, you're seeing this, right? This is my first time interacting with the knife. This button's super intuitive. It does what you'd expect it to. I mean, even if I hold it down the whole time, the knife just stops up there. I don't know if it has like a detent, but it just wants to stop where it belongs. I really like the height of that edge and the thickness of this blade. This is a sweet carry. It's so funny today. I was just thinking, I love this knife, but I don't know that I could carry it and actually use it because it's so beautiful and like expensive. It's $950 now, but they originally were like $1,050. For $50, you are getting, let me just see, I'm trying not to hurt myself here. The one thing I don't love is the thumb stud is a little, it's not great. It's not terrible, but it has a detent on this. The detent's good, maybe a little, one sec. It's pretty similar actually. Maybe yeah, no, it's pretty good. Let me see if my Spidey flick is, ooh, holy shit. That is sweet. Wow. I see what the hype is about. This is a sweet knife. All right, let's take a look at it. Really nice blade shape, really nice drop point. It just kills me when people do weird stuff on knives. Good on the jimping. It could probably go up a little longer, but whatever. Really like the forward choil, the finger choil, or whatever you want to call it. The button is sweet. You can really nice milling in that stainless. Wow, that's nice in there, huh? And then not too many screws, not too much hardware. Oh, really nice pocket clip. That was surprising. I was expecting that to be the shortcut. It does stick up. It's not inset, which would have been a really nice touch if they had just taken that one extra step to get that inset there into the frame, into the handle. That would have been sweet, but it is at least the screws are flush with it, so that should go on. It's not too strong. That should go onto the pants really nicely. Let me just do a quick little pocket test here. Quick one. Oh yeah, that goes onto the pocket real nice. If anything, it might slip out too easily because the handle, one of the things I noticed on this knife, the factory pocket clip on the Demcos is very tough with most of the rough Grivery to get it on because it's so strong, but it sticks on there really nice once you get it over your pocket. This, on the other hand, is really, it works really well with this glass smooth finish. So unlike the Grivery on the, the textured titanium and stuff, this pocket clip, I really don't like it, and I've replaced it on my daily driver, as you can see, with, a deep carry, but it works fine there. This one's almost too light for how smooth this surface is, and this surface is really smooth. All right, I'm gonna give full credit here to Metal Complex. I watched his video on this one, and he's so obsessed with this knife. That was probably the main person that drove me to go check this out. And rightly so. Holy shit, that detent at the top, the lockout at the top is like, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like a ting. That is a sweet knife. It's a little hard to just kind of roll out. That is not its best strength. That's the one deployment method I'm not liking so far. Thumb is great. The button is great. And the Spidey flick is fantastic. The rollout is not super great. It's not terrible, but it's a little poppy when it comes out at first, and that gets a little sketchy. If that doesn't come out real smooth, that can get you in a little trouble there. Let's see how it feels in hand. Really nice size for me. I mean, you can see just where you want it to be. No hot spots. The choke up's really nice there. Really nice there. That's sweet. That's great. It's not bad. This is pretty good. That works pretty well too. You know, you don't have frame locks. You're not worried about like squeezing it too hard. Drop shut from the factory for $49 on Blade HQ right now. This is this and this are the two best value knives I think I've ever reviewed. I cannot think of better value knives. Maybe this Civivi with S35VN if you happen to want a Tanto blade. This was like $59 with S35VN. Would be up there. This is, for me, not a recommendable knife. It's fine. I'm sure a lot of people don't mind this knife, but that's not the knife for me. So I'm gonna throw that out. And this is obviously super sketchy, but now that I've loosened it up, it's working pretty darn good for $11.99. If you're on a super budget and you want an automatic and you're willing to work and maybe return it if you don't get a screw, maybe that's the knife for you. But these two are the bells of the ball today. I could not be more impressed with these two knives. So I think each one of these deserves its own video and review, so I will go do those. But first impressions on both of these knives, oops, sorry, highly impressed with those two knives. Good job Blade HQ making them available. Great job Kershaw making that knife, and great job CJRB or Artisan Cutlery or whoever you want to give credit to on this one, because this is the best knife under $50 I can remember testing, and that's the best knife under $30 I can remember testing. And honestly, these compete with each other very closely. This is smaller, bigger, more of an all-arounder, a little more artsy. Yeah, really impressed with these. So these are gonna get their own videos. I hope you enjoyed this one. We're gonna cut this off before it hits 40 minutes. And thanks for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.